One on Israel. Will President Biden be asking President Herzog to sort of take any kind of message back to Prime Minister Netanyahu about the need for him to back off the Knesset vote or get back into talks with the opposition to reach a compromise or potentially some kind of consensus on the issue of judicial overhaul?
So I think in our readout, that is certainly something that the president spoke to the prime minister himself yesterday. So that is a topic.
Towards the end of the readout, so.
But it's in the readout, correct? It's in the readout. Okay. So a couple things I do want to say, and just pretty much reiterating what the president just said moments ago during the pool spray, which is his love for Israel is deep-rooted and long-standing since his early days of government. So that's important. And one of the reasons this conversation is so important is this: Israel is clearly celebrating their 70th anniversary of Israel's independence, and this was an opportunity to lift up, continue that partnership at a higher level, certainly. And they're going to be talking about the advancing a more integrated, peaceful, and prosperous Middle East, which is something that the president has certainly led on and talked about over the this past year. And a couple of things: preserving the path of negotiating two-state solution is going to be on the table for discussion. The administration's new plan to counter anti-Semitism, as you all know, this past May, we announced a very comprehensive, once-of-a-kind anti-Semitism plan, which we think is incredibly important at this moment. The importance of upholding democratic principles, including the checks and balances as we talk about judicial reform, and the changes have the broadest possible. If there are changes, that needs to have the broadest possible consensus within our system. So certainly the president's going to talk about how the president of Israel himself has been involved in brokering a compromise as it relates to judicial reform. So those are the conversations that's going to be on the table. But the president has had that conversation directly with the prime minister as recently as yesterday.
Can you confirm a venue for the meeting? Israelis are saying it's going to be at the White House with Prime Minister Netanyahu, but the White House hasn't confirmed the venue.
What I can say is both the Prime Minister and the President talked about certainly continuing to be in touch, and so they're both of their sides, right? Both governments are going. The staff on both governments are going to have those conversations. I just don't have anything to preview for you at this time.
Why the hesitation in confirming?
There's no hesitation. I mean, we have confirmed yesterday that they said that we're going to see each other later this year. We just haven't worked that out, and sometimes this takes a little bit of time on where that's going to be and how that's going to look. Get Kelly.
It does appear that there's a hesitation to confer a White House meeting on Netanyahu based on just a lack of willingness to be explicit about that. I mean, I would imagine the Prime Minister will also be at the United Nations General Assembly, and that would be another potential venue that would fall into what you were describing yesterday. Is there any reason why the White House wouldn't make it explicit that a White House invitation has been extended?
I mean, you just laid out there's potential other opportunities for the two leaders to meet with each other. As I've stated, the details are going to be worked out by the different teams on what that's going to look like and where that's going to be. But they have committed to meeting and seeing each other in the United States later this year. I just don't have a specific on location. It's going to be worked out, and as soon as we know, we'll certainly share it with all of you.
Can you walk us through